Young Afghans Idris and Fawad have shared experience of the same horrifying ordeal. They were on a small boat with dozens of other migrants crossing the channel from France to England when it began to sink. 6 people died. 22-year-old Idris was convinced he would be one of them.
I never believed I would survive. I thought I was dying and was ready to die. I asked God to forgive my sins. I also remembered my mother and father. I kept swimming for the sake of my parents and my brothers and sisters because we have left home and are going through all this suffering for their sake. I was fast losing the strength to swim, but I kept trying very hard to keep afloat.
More than 60 people, mostly Afghans, were saved by French and British rescue teams on Saturday. Idris and Fawad told Reuters their story in the French port city of Calais 4 days later.
Half the passengers fell into the water and were swallowed up by the sea. Those who were left in the boat tried to stay alive with the help of their lifebuoys. About 2 hours later, the French police arrived and threw lifebuoys at us to save us. Those boys who were in the boat also took along 6 bodies of those who had died in the boat. The rest of the Afghans were lost. Half of the survivors were taken by the UK police.
The channel between France and Britain is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Currents there are strong, making crossing on small boats dangerous. People smugglers typically overload rickety dinghies, leaving them barely afloat and at risk of being lashed by the waves as they try to reach British shores. Fawad is 15 years old. He declined to show his face for this interview. When the boat sank, he says he swam before eventually falling unconscious.
When the boat split up, it was quite dark and we could not see anything. We were very scared, but thank God he saved us. We stayed alive because of the lifebuoys until the French police arrived.
Fawad has been in France for 2 months, mostly sleeping on the streets. He's not sure what he'll do next, but he says he's traumatized by what he and Idris lived through. Idris left Afghanistan a year ago and has been in France for 8 months, waiting to go to Britain. But he says he will not risk a second crossing attempt. A French judicial source said Thursday that 2 Iraqis suspected to be people smugglers and 2 Sudanese suspected of helping them in return for a lower price for the crossing are being formally investigated over the deaths. Over 2,000 migrants have reached Britain in small boats in this month alone. Conservative British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has repeatedly pledged to stop the boats ahead of an election expected next year.